WNBA and the No Space for Hate campaign has to be, pardon my language, the biggest crock of shit.
This is our league. That ain't a representation of us. Y'all not like us. They not like us, okay?
Shit about the WNBA. Yeah. That league sucks.
I'll tell you why they're relevant is because of this one white girl that just keeps flexing on all the black girls, man.
Yeah. White people love watching that.
Caitlin Clark.
The No Space for Hate campaign was directed towards a certain fan base.
Renee Montgomery, the owner of Atlanta Dream, made another attempt to discredit Caitlin Clark a few minutes ago by promoting the idea that she is merely a white girl.
This makes absolutely no sense. And I swear they're putting all this money into that girl who ain't done shit but be white.
The same venom is back and louder than ever on national television.
Caitlin Clark is the needle mover.
She is the needle mover.
She is the franchise player.
And she was the MVP.
She is the main draw.
She wasn't the one who was full sprinting down the court.
If you completely support Caitlin, please leave a remark to let her know she's not alone.
She's the Rookie of the Year. She's 4th in the league in MVP voting.
Caitlin Clark is an absolute all-star. She is the Michael Jordan of this. This is the girl that girls have been waiting for forever.
Caitlin Clark is a rising star in women's basketball. She's pulling in crazy viewership numbers.
Caitlin Clark is the needle mover.
She is the needle mover.
She is the franchise player.
And she was the MVP.
She is the main draw.
She wasn't the one who was full sprinting down the court.
She's my role model. I really look up to her.
Why do you like Caitlin?
Yeah, she's so good at basketball.
Because she's that awesome person and she has like a lot of aura, so like.
Renee Montgomery, co-owner of Atlanta Dream.
Renee Montgomery, who hates Caitlin Clark, hates the Indiana Fever fans.
That ain't a representation of us. Y'all not like us. They not like us, okay?
Recently received a nationwide platform from CBS to co-host their brand new WNBA pregame show. And you know what?
WNBA and CBS, they wouldn't be putting together this crew, right? We got Sarah Kustok, Sarah Salute. We got Renee Montgomery. They not like us. They not like us.
They planned it for that precise day. Caitlin Clark performs once again. Renee isn't just another analyst. She's the same person who famously stated that new fans don't like us. So this isn't just a coincidence. It's a premeditated move that has people furious.
This is our league.
Does not like the new fans that Caitlin Clark has brought in. Does not want the new fans that Caitlin Clark has brought in to be here.
To be clear, that statement wasn't subtle. Rather, it was directed at Caitlin Clark's enormous fan base, which has crowded arenas and raised viewership for a league that has been having trouble for years.
It was never meant to be all-inclusive, more so it meant to be more exclusive, to try to push a certain fan base away, to try to exclude a certain fan base, right?
Renee put a line in the sand, telling millions of fans that they don't belong, rather than appreciating that growth. Now, just before a big game, CBS is elevating that same voice.
Group cannot be a representation of what the WNBA would want in their league. This is our league. This was built, like, I feel like as a women's basketball historian myself,
shut the hell up.
I've been watching since I was 5. I was here before the league started, as a lot of the fans on social media feel the same. That ain't a representation of us. Y'all not like us. They not like us, okay? So please don't confuse me saying motivated by hate.
It's not just tone deaf, it's nasty. Why would a network pick someone who openly disparages Clark's fans and herself to set the tone for the show? This seems like an attempt to degrade rather than to draw attention, especially when you consider that Renee's outbursts weren't unique and that she asked whether Caitlin Clark truly deserved the attention she was receiving in addition to questioning the fans.
It is a mad situation just all around when it comes to Caitlin Clark, because it's very clear that she is way stronger.
Caitlin has always been an underrated athlete. She's the fastest player in the league to me with the ball in her hands. And she was the best guard finishing around the rim last year. She shot a bunch of it, and it's been the whole preseason where it looks to me like on her deepest shots, she is just getting them off like they're nothing, like they're routine. Because nobody else is shooting from this distance regularly, and she's doing it with a flick of the wrist. How easily it looks like she's shooting those threes and hitting those threes in the clip that she's doing it, you know, going to the rack, all these various things that show she's even stronger than she was a year ago. And you see it in the strong numbers. I mean, 13 points, 6 boards, 7 assists in 23 minutes of action.
The worst part is that she focused everything on Clark's identity, saying that she didn't deserve this and that she's just that white girl from Iowa. This is personal and not an analysis, and it's happening again right in front of us.
This is wild. CBS launching WNBA tip-off. Okay, that sounds fine. A pregame featuring, Renee. They not like us. They not like us. We do not want them here. We don't want those fans. Montgomery and Dawn Kelly as analysts, along with Sarah Kustok as host.
The phrase, "that white girl," has been used casually, but when it comes to Caitlin Clark, it's loaded with resentment, dismissal, and bitterness. And it comes from people in positions of power, including Renee Montgomery's own family. Let's stop pretending otherwise. What's happening to Caitlin Clark is not just criticism, it's targeted, personal, and deeply racial.
Not just Renee, her whole entire family thinks this way, folks. Her whole entire family thinks, we know her sister, cousin. It's her sister cousin, not her cousin, not her sister cousin, Dawn Montgomery. This makes absolutely no sense.
They're investing all this money on that girl who hasn't done, but she's white, according to a straight comment from her relative that is currently making the rounds online.
CBS, no one wants to watch this trash. No one wants to watch somebody who continuously puts them down to say, oh, let's talk about the Indiana Fever now. Someone who constantly says, they not like us.
That is outright racial animosity, not criticism of her performance. Instead of being welcomed, Caitlin is being punished, and Dawn Staley is no better. She earned the attention by dominating on the court, setting records, attracting millions of fans, and reviving the WNBA. She not only helped prevent Caitlin from making the Olympic squad, but she also allegedly said that after losing to Clark in college, God had to check her.
Someone who was so set in her ways, we held Caitlin Clark off the Olympic team.
The intensity of the animosity is demonstrated by the energy that was used to spiritualize a loss just because it was to Caitlin.
She is a supernova fame, a level of fame with one-of-a-kind talent, and it is game-changing for the entire league.
Caitlin Clark effect seems to be crazier than year one.
Caitlin Clark is Indiana Fever's leading scorer at over 19 points a game. Caitlin Clark is undeniably the offensive engine.
You cannot deny the impact that she's made on this sport.
That's nice.
And she was shooting the shit out of it.
Of course she was.
Right, so she was shooting the shit out of it. And
she's the face of the league.
Agreed.
She's my role model. I really look up to her.
Why do you like Caitlin?
And she's so good at basketball.
Because she's that awesome person and she has like a lot of aura. So.
As if the roles were reversed. Imagine if a white owner called another star player that black girl and implied she didn't deserve coverage. There would be outrage investigations and consequences. But in Caitlin's case, there were no WNBA statements, no accountability, and no room for hate campaigns to step in. Staley still rejects the idea that Caitlin is among the elite, saying there simply wasn't room for her on Team USA.
The WNBA has this no space for hate campaign, and I'm just letting them know, like, you've created this space for the hate.
The no space for hate campaign was directed towards a certain fan base.
Why is Clark conveniently disregarded when the hostility is directed at him? This selective quiet demonstrates the double standard.
People can say whatever they want about Caitlin Clark. People can say whatever they want about the Indiana Fever, that white girl this, corn girl that, person from Iowa this, person from Iowa that, so on and so forth. And the WNBA?
The same league that claims to stand for unity is giving microphones to the very people stoking division because the victim this time doesn't fit the narrative. The same voices that shout loudest about inclusion become silent when the target is a white woman succeeding in a field they believed they controlled. This is no longer about basketball. Rather, it's about control, resentment, and power. And Caitlin Clark is being regarded like a threat for no fault of her own.
Caitlin Clark comes into the WNBA. Goes through college. She has panache. She has style.
She's my role model. I really look up to her.
Why do you like Caitlin?
And she's so good at basketball.
Because she's that awesome person and she has like a lot of aura, so like.
It is undeniable that Caitlin Clark is the engine.
Caitlin Clark effect. There has been so much of an influx in attendance, in jersey sales, and viewership, all the things.
That's about star power, narrative, and likability.
Caitlin Clark comes into the WNBA, goes through college. She has panache. She has style.
She dared to shine, but because she is white, that shine is viewed as an issue rather than a breakthrough.
That sucks. I'm not on board with it at all, obviously. But we gonna see, can the WNBA hold the momentum? Can they keep them fresh eyes going for that new CBA so these women can get paid?
Yes.
Y'all let us know in the comments what y'all think. Y'all think the WNBA can capitalize on this? You know, there's been so many things they haven't, but can they?
The WNBA wants you to think that it is a positive organization. It started a campaign called No Space for Hate with the intention of making the league more welcoming, but as soon as you look past the catchy tagline, everything breaks down because the campaign was never intended to shield Caitlin Clark or her supporters.
Be a representation of what the WNBA would want in their league. This is our league. This was built, I feel like as a women's basketball historian myself, I've been watching since I was 5. I was here before the league started, as a lot of the fans on social media feel the same. That ain't a representation of us. Y'all not like us. They not like us, okay? So please don't confuse me saying motivated by hate by meaning hating on a team the way a normal, die-hard fan would.
Actually, it has been used as a weapon against them. Instead of welcoming that growth, let's dissect the whole "they don't like us" narrative that Renee Montgomery promoted. It wasn't a casual comment. Rather, it was a public rejection of Caitlin, Clark's fans, and a huge influx of new fans, many of whom are middle American basketball fans who finally had a reason to watch the WNBA. You are not welcome here, Renee stated clearly. In response, the league said silence, total silence. However, when the opposite occurs, even if someone questions Angel Reese's game,
I think they were trying to create that Magic Johnson, Larry Bird situation with the women. But the thing is that
Angel Reese isn't very good.
I love Angel Reese.
Mm-hmm.
I love Angel Reese. Mm-hmm. She just isn't as good as Caitlin Clark.
Clock her ass, man.
Yeah, black women hate her.
Dude, I don't even see LeBron get battered like this.
Yeah.
And he, somebody has bad breath and they breathe on him and he goes flying back.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she actually spoke out for black women. This is a black women's league.
Yeah, she's like a leftist.
She's like a cuck for black women.
Yeah,
and they beat the crap out of her.
Well, that's what happens when you cuck out to people. They don't respect you.
Mm-hmm.
The WNBA suddenly leaps into action, issues press releases, launches investigations, and acts as though it is defending the sport's soul. But when people on national platforms call out that white girl Caitlin and claim that she is only popular because she is white, the silence is deafening. Let's talk about the most recent incident that truly tore the mask off. CBS launched a new WNBA pregame show. It seems harmless, right? But who did they choose to lead it? Renee Montgomery, who continues to stand by her divisive "they don't like us" comments, and who else doesn't? The Staley.
You get so few people who are known in the WNBA space that say anything positive about Caitlin Clark. With this is a FU to the Indiana Fever fans. This is an FU to Caitlin Clark fans by CBS to put Renee, "They Not Like Us" Montgomery and Dawn Staley on a pregame tip-off show on CBS.
Whose spiritual jab about God having to check Caitlin Clark was crucial in keeping her off the Olympic roster. The message is clear. This pregame show isn't about basketball. It's about controlling the narrative and keeping Caitlin in her place. And fans can see right through it. When Renee's own relative posts on social media that the league is spending all this money on that girl who hasn't done anything but be white, how are we supposed to think that there is no room for hate? The comments under these announcements aren't encouraging. They're angry, longtime viewers are disgusted, and new fans brought in by Caitlin's stardom are being told they don't belong.
This will be some thrilling breakdowns of basketball strategy. Thrilling, I tell you. I cannot wait to watch this.
Where is the responsibility? This isn't a one-time remark. Rather, it's a pattern of coordinated efforts to minimize shame and exclude the very player who is saving their ratings. And here's the part no one wants to admit. The WNBA had a once-in-a-generation opportunity with Caitlin Clark. Where is the equality they preach so hard about?
Christine Brennan puts it perfectly. WNBA without Clark, league feels the hurt. Without Caitlin Clark, fan fervor's down, ticket sales are down, merchandise is down.
she is highly likable. I think that lends itself to her popularity is she comes across as somebody that's really just respectful, likable. There's other players out there that just don't come across that way.
With the opportunity to elevate the entire sport, similar to the NBA's Magic and Bird rivalry that brought fans from all racial and regional backgrounds together. Instead of elevating Clark, the WNBA allowed insiders to disparage her, not for her skill, but for who she is, how she looks, and the people she attracts. They gave the microphone to resentment and jealousy, dressed it up as activism, and called it progress, but it's actually sabotage, and the fans know it. You can see it in the YouTube comments, the Twitter threads, and the stadiums that only fill up when Caitlyn plays.
She is a supernova, a level of fame with one-of-a-kind talent, and it is game-changing for the entire league.
Caitlin Clark effect seems to be crazier than year one.
Caitlin Clark is Indiana Fever's leading scorer at over 19 points a game. Caitlin Clark is undeniably the offensive engine.
You cannot deny the impact that she's made on this sport.
That's nice. And she was shooting the shit out of it.
Of course she was.
Right, so she was shooting the shit out of it. And
she's the face of the league.
Agreed.
She's my role model. I really look up to her.
Why do you like Caitlyn?
And she's so good at basketball.
Because she's that awesome person, and she has like a lot of aura, so.
The genuine fans' message is very obvious. We are here for the game, not the agenda, and the one player who is keeping the game alive is being treated like the enemy. You want to know what's killing the WNBA? It's not Caitlin Clark. Rather, it's the league's refusal to shield its biggest star from open hostility. It's this fake unity based on division, and its leaders like Renee Montgomery are using identity politics to drive out the very people who are reviving the league. The real hate doesn't come from fans. Rather, it comes from within. Caitlin Clark didn't ask to be the league's face. She earned it through talent, grit, and undeniable star. Please leave a 100% in the comments because despite their constant attempts to discredit her, we will continue to support her at every game, every shot, and every time we see you, Caitlin, and we've got your back.